Welcome to another top pick based on originality, condition, and price. Our feature car this morning is a 1972 Buick Opel Manta. It's a real blast from the past, folks. You're going to like this car. My name is Rob Lofaris. You're watching Rob's Top Car Picks. Let's go check this car out. I found this car on Facebook yesterday night. It's a 1972 Buick Opel Manta. It's automatic transmission, 63,000 miles. True mileage unknown when we find something this old. The seller's a dealer, and he's asking $12,750 for this car. So we'll get into that in a little while. But it's a very interesting one to point out. As the story goes, a little background. As the story goes, from 1970 to 1975, General Motors imported the West German engineered and designed Opels that were sold in Buick showrooms in three car lines: the Opel Kadett, the Manta, and the GT Coupe. The feature car, the Manta A, was the first generation, ran from 1970 to 75, and was a direct competitor to the popular Ford Capri during the time, with distinctive styling and rounded taillights that they borrowed from the Opel GT. So it was a very stylish car. The US spec Manta was equipped with Opel's largest engine at the time, was a 1.9 liter. They called it the cam in the head, four-cylinder with 90 horsepower, which wasn't a lot. But you got to remember, back then, Volkswagen Beetles were like 62 horsepower. They were available in four-speed or three-speed automatic, and then fuel injection arrived sometime later on. Personally, I think the Manta design is one of my all-time 70s favorite cars, along with the Capri and the Celica GT notchback coupe. How this dealer found this car must be an interesting story. This was the time. The time was the Ford Capri, so beautiful, such a good-looking car. And that was also a German-made car. And also the Toyota Celica ST or GT. These cars today are really, really hard to find because, like all these three cars, they rusted kind of early. They were driven daily, and very few collected them back in the 80s. They just used them and, discarded them. And the Opel Manta is the same type of car. So all three cars are just so beautiful. And they used to be tested quite often on Road and Track magazine. And the Opel actually had one of the better handling cars out there. And they were all about the same price range. I think probably the Celica GT or the base Celica was probably cheaper, but really nice cars. Let's go look at the ad and see if we can tear it apart a little bit. And we can tear this one apart a bit. The seller is a dealer. He gives horrible information and he provides horrible photos. But the car is so special and so unique that you just have to look at it. So in looking at the car, he states that it's 63,000 miles. He gives us a paint gauge, so we can gauge the paint thickness. I don't know. But when you look at the engine bay photo, so maybe the paint is original. I don't think so, though. The spare tire is there, but no photos of really good photos. They're all close-up photos of things that, yeah, it's nice to see the trunk. It's nice to see the strut tower, but the likelihood of the strut tower rusting out isn't great, but the undercarriage is what we're really concerned about. And the big news on this one, it looks like the original color, original jack instructions, so that's cool. They did come in yellow. The engine bay here is very, very original, so it's kind of scary, when you see a rusted out, the filler for the radiator. I'm thinking that this radiator might be original. And when you see all this crud and leaves and everything else, in this area here where the windshield wipers are, I'm thinking that this car may have been sitting around for quite some time. And then he takes this photo, which is really strange, but it's good because we get to see what the car is all about. And I guess that's surface rust and also paint peeling. So that tells me that this car was repainted at one time, unless this is some type of sound deadening material that's just making the paint fade, with heat and all that stuff. But the car gives me another inside photo of the trunk bay with strut towers that aren't rusted, which is good. But again, the likelihood of strut towers rusting here when the car is, stored indoors, something like that, isn't the worry. The worry is the undercarriage, where the suspension bolts up and things like that. And there's no photos of that. This is a water plug or something in the trunk. It's nice to see, again, no rust here. It's possible the undercarriage is clean, but based on that engine bay photo, I'm not thinking that. This car has a manual automatic transmission. which was kind of cool back in those days. People wanted automatic. Americans weren't fast to warm up to a manual transmission. So nice gauges here, but that's all the photos we have, folks. We have a why he took a photograph of the door panel with aged spots in here, faded vinyl. That tells me that the car was stored outside for some time. But again, it's one of these type of things. Uh, it's a shame because we don't really see much of the car. Nice dash pad, which is good to see, but we're not getting a really good view of this car. Here's the undercarriage. It looks somewhat original, doesn't look too bad. Uh, and he's taking some photos here as well. So the undercarriage doesn't look bad. The engine bay looks horrible. The paintwork might be original, may not be. Uh, this car just doesn't look loved. And love and care and taking care of this car since 1972 is really important. So it's possible this car is sitting for quite some time indoors, and now they're looking to sell it. From a price point perspective, that's where we start getting into this car a little bit. From a price point perspective, most people on our Facebook page, and we got a lot of people on there, all agreed that the car probably is in a price range between $5 and $6 or $7,000. Now, there's no photos of the rear of the car. This is a stock photo that I got offline. You can see the color was an original color, and you can see what the back of the car looks like and all. This is pretty good picture of a car of what it looks like. The black hood was a rally option, I think, at that time. So this car, I don't know if it was rally lights on the bottom or stock, but it's a very good example because you just can't find these cars. It's like a Celica GT notchback coupe. You just don't find them. So when you do find them, it really attracts my interest. So it's a nice car, but would I like to see it if I was local? This car is based in Pennsylvania. I would definitely go look at it. I'm thinking the dealer probably paid about $5,000 or $6,000 a car on this car, and he's trying to double his money. But he'll be hard pressed to sell it for that much money. But it's definitely worth investigating and definitely worth pitching a number if, in fact, there's the photos of the undercarriage is well representative of the rest of the car. So I like the car a lot. So I think that basically wraps up this top pick. If you like, please go to our Facebook page. You can find our link in our Facebook page here on our homepage. That would take you right to, we got over, I don't know, 11,000 subscribers there, and very active group of folks. So you'll enjoy that. And please subscribe to this channel and like the page as well. And thank you all for your support. We'll see you again real soon on another Rob's Top Pick. We're looking at a lot of cars today, so hopefully we'll find a bunch to put on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great day.